I'm Donna, and today we have our mother with us, Dr. Sona Kakkar. She's a well-known psychodynamic therapist and psychiatrist. And today she's going to be answering all the questions that you guys asked us over Instagram related to mental health. And we'll also have a section in which she addresses the COVID-19 situation and the effect of it on our mental health. So let's get started.
Thank you, Paula.
So should I start? Okay, you start. Winning without trying. Okay, winning without trying. Okay. The first question. We won't be taking anybody's names just for confidentiality purposes.
Yeah.
Because your questions, a few of them are a little personal. So we decided not to take your names, but we'll certainly answer every question that you asked. So the first question is, why do the smallest things make somebody angry and then have them burst into tears?
Okay, that's a very nice question. So the thing is that the smallest thing might make you angry. Being angry is not important, but the question is that why would someone burst into tears if they were angry? You know what anger is. You feel kind of rage or you feel warmed up. Why would somebody become teary when they're angry? So that brings up the question of what's really happening in a relationship. So if something annoys you or something hurts you, especially if it is related to somebody you love very much, then being angry at people that you love very much can be very hard. And since you're little, you just kind of grew up, with your mom or your dad, and every time you felt angry, you have so much love that you didn't feel it okay to be angry towards a parent you also love very much. And then one way of protecting your parent.
Is it only, sorry to cut you, but is it only about with parents?
I don't know, it happens in all relationships where there is affection and love. So you see, you may be angry at somebody who you don't know on the road, somebody bumps their car into you, and there you can be free to express your anger. But when it comes to a closer relationship, you're not so free to express your anger because you don't want to hurt the people that you love very much. And so one way of dealing with the anger, and everybody deals with their anger differently. Some people kind of just burst into tears, or the tears come to kind of wash away their anger so that they can maintain the relationship with the people they love because they are terrified of losing the relationship in case they express their anger. So I just hope this kind of answers your question, and of course one can work on this mechanism of tearing up happening and you losing your power for in that instant, and then be more cognizant of your anger and then be able to express what you really feel, because now you're not a kid. You're not threatened by loss of relationships. Possibly you can work with a therapist to help you address how you can address your anger in your relationship without needing to, wash it away anymore.
How much does a heartbreak affect mental health, and what are the best ways to come out of it?
Heartbreak does affect mental health because, after all, it's a relationship which is broken from a person who you have also cared for. There may be anger currently towards a person, and there's a breakup, but there's also a lot of love which was there because the relationship obviously had a component of love. So it is both these feelings of longing as well as anger which can complicate the process of getting over the relationship. And once you can deal with and accept that people who you love very much can also sometimes hurt you, and people who you are angry at also have loved you, you can deal with these mixed feelings so you can move on from a relationship and get into a fresh one.
So the next question is mental health advice for a tinnitus patient, since there is no cure for this condition.
Yeah, so tinnitus is a problem of ringing in the ears. Often it could be an ENT problem, that is an ear, nose and throat problem, or there could be some other cause to that, an organic cause. However, if those have been ruled out, then one might like to investigate for anxiety, as one of the symptoms of anxiety can be tinnitus. So some people have, when you kind of side, that's a sign of anxiety. So some kind of people have anxiety which is more in their body movements, so they're anxious but they just feel tense. Some people with high levels of anxiety can feel dizzy, and they can feel like they're hearing sounds, or they get blurred vision. So it may disrupt their perception. So it may be advisable to visit a psychiatrist and get yourself evaluated for your levels of anxiety and see if anti-anxiety medication or some therapy helps you with your tinnitus.
The next question is how to cope with unresolved issues. So, Mama, give us answer this. Yeah, so it can mean a lot of things, but we will leave it up to.
Yeah, it can mean, like you said, very nice. That it can mean a lot of things for a lot of people. And the question is that some things can be resolved by our effort and the effort on the other side, but some things cannot be resolved even if you put a lot of effort. So the question is, how much effort are you willing to put into a situation which is not getting resolved? So in case a situation is not getting resolved by your efforts, either you have to change the kind of effort you are putting in, or you have to live with the fact that you can just do as much. And some things are not resolved. Some things don't have an answer. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know why it happened. There are so many questions which we don't know and we don't have an answer for. And are we okay to just live with that? That sometimes we just don't know. And we don't have a solution for everything. Like you can take an example of Corona. We just don't have a solution right now. We think we do, we try, but we don't have. Can we live with the fact that at this point, we don't know?
How do you deal with feelings of loneliness and insecurities? I think this is the same person who asked me how do you deal with feelings of your pausing down. So I just add that to this. So insecurity and pausing down and loneliness. So, yeah. Okay.
It's a little difficult to just answer, what's causing the loneliness, but offhand, I would say that people can be lonely when they find it hard to trust, because they've been hurt in their relationships in the past, and now they're terrified of getting into new relationships. And the terror of getting hurt again can stop them from entering new relationships and leave them lonely. Sometimes they put up a wall and it looks like they're very comfortable and they don't care and they're kind of detached. Behind that wall of detachment lies a very lonely person. So, falling in love is a courageous step, and of course it comes with what we say, it can come with disappointment or it can come with gratification. How it goes is difficult, but unless we take the first step, we really wouldn't know.
Next question is, what are some unhealthy and toxic behavioral traits, and by doing what can it be changed or avoided?
So this is a good question. The only thing is, it's a little difficult to answer because if we just judge the person by the behaviors, we really won't meet the real person inside. However, having said that, I would say that anything that makes you uncomfortable, you would like to, point it out to the person if they are saying things to you which is hurtful or which feels very uncomfortable and which annoys you. You may like to be assertive and draw your boundaries and let them know that this is something which is not okay with you. So anything which you find uncomfortable would be something you would like to put a stop to.
This is my own question. I want to ask, so I've noticed in a lot of, specifically my own relationship, that there's always a different perspective on taunting or pulling each other's leg. So I've noticed that at times when I pull my partner's leg, then he gets offended, and according to me, I'm just joking. But according to him, I'm genuinely taunting him or I'm hurting him. So I've also seen that in a lot of other relationships. I've seen that happen a lot. So this is something similar, I think, to the previous question, that what are some toxic behavioral traits. So would that be considered toxic for the other person?
Yeah, it depends on who's feeling what. For you, it may be something which is not a problem. But if it's a problem for the other person, it's a problem. We have to accept that they're not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to add to that. I feel that in such situations, communication and mutual respect is key. So, if you feel hurt about what your partner is doing, you have to communicate about it, and your partner has to But respect
that's
that.
like,
I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's something that, I mean, my partner does tell me that he doesn't like it, but I still think that, okay, like, what is the big deal in this? But that's why I said that respect is also important. Because you have to respect what your partner is going through. Exactly, and I've come to realize that, of course, but then, like, there are certain things that I probably still don't know that he might get offended about. So I also feel like I'm constantly on my toes about what I have to say to him.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, that's also, a challenge in a way, because I also feel like, okay, I don't know what he might take in an offensive way.
Yeah, but we accept it that there are certain things which you say which may irk him, and he gives you a feedback, and then slowly, as you work on that together, you find a middle ground, which he realizes that, okay, this is not offensive, and you realize that, okay, I have to be more careful with him, and that's what makes a relationship tick, when you make efforts to be cognizant of each other and each other's difficulties.
Due to work from home, I have been facing constant stress and depression. Can you please suggest me ways of coping?
So, how many people out there are suffering from depression due to work from home?
Not me. I'm happy with my place.
So, yes, it's very restrictive. There are shifts in our daily activities. We are not able to do the things we like to do. Coping mechanisms are failing. Whatever we would like to do earlier, we're not able to do them. So, obviously, it's frustrating, annoying, and depressing. So, this is a time for all of us to recognize that these are difficult and hard times, and most of us are on the edge and very uncomfortable with the current situation. And what you should do is dependent on what you want to do, what will make you feel better. Maybe just revisit the things that you liked to do as a child, when you were freer, when you didn't have commitments, you didn't have to go out and work. What would you have liked to do on just a holiday? And make plans for an extended holiday. Do the things that you like to do. Maybe painting and cooking sometimes. Some other activity like gardening, or create a new hobby, or do an online course, something which you wanted to do, couldn't do it. So some of the things where you could expand your skills in this field.
But we've also sort of gotten used to socializing. Socializing. So, for people who are, really, they've built on their relationships with other people or their friends, or, for them it's like a getaway to sort of chill with their friends or hang out. For them, it's obviously a little more difficult. So, and they may not. I think. Of course, as a kid, I think most of us want to stay inside on a holiday and probably just chill with our families. But obviously, that changes over time. So, for them, what advice would you have?
I don't know what would be best for them. I know even if you chat online or you see each other on WhatsApp videos, it may not be the same as an experience of really sitting with your friends. And like I said, the truth is this is very frustrating, and it's frustrating for everybody. For some a little bit more because it is socialized much more. But then the reality is that this is really tough, and at this point, the only consolation is that whatever you're doing is keeping you safe. And if it keeps you safe, it's something worth doing right now.